Alright everyone, Assalamualaikum. So today we will continue with the animations. Alright, so if I click here the preview, okay, you can see that this text is animate from the, it's fly from the left, from the right to the left, and I have buttons in here. When I click this button, I have more information, and when I click on the second button, there is another information, and you'll see that it's disappear from here. Okay, so these are the things that I want to demonstrate in this video so that you can apply to your own e-magazine project. Okay, so let's start. So first let's create these buttons, okay, and how when we click the buttons then you have another informations. Okay, right, so first let's look in the layers. All right, so I will add this text in the text body, and I'll just lock the other layer. All right, so the same, you create the area first, okay, and then you double click, right, then you can change this to the font that you want to use. I'm gonna change this to 14 for the font size. Then after that, change the paragraph to left, and this is left to the right. Okay, so the title is, I'm gonna use all capital letters. Okay, so click here, you can have more space, right? You can change the colors if you right click and you highlight everything, and you can go to character. Just make sure that the language is not Arabic, it's supposed to be in English, and I don't want this hyphenate, so I just uncheck this one. Okay, right, and then for the color, you can also double click from here. I'm gonna change this to F, okay, because F is represent as white color, right? Then after that, you can add effects. If you go to object effects, and you can have the drop shadow. Okay, you can change the drop shadow, the angle. So this is all up to you how you want to, you know, explore and play around with all of this. So let's say you have satisfied, then make sure that you click preview so that you can see whatever changes that you have made in here. Then you press OK. Then after that, this is for the text. Okay, now I'm gonna add another layer, and I name it as button, right, to ellipse tool. Okay, press the shift button so that you get a perfect circle. Right, and then I'm gonna add the exclamation marks. I will change the font maybe to 18. Let's say 20. Right, then I want you to highlight two of it. Okay, the font and the circle, and you can right click and group two of this. Just make sure that when you do this, this is in the buttons layer, right? So this is the first text. Now let's create the second one. Okay, I'm gonna change this to visiting hours. Right, and then before that, in here we have another text information at the bottom. Okay, I'll just make the font as 12 for the size. So change this to the align to left, and it should be read from left to right. Okay, right, and then click here again. I'll go back in here and see what is the information. Just copy from here. Okay, then I want to drop the shadow so that it will be more visible to read this text. So effects, drop shadow. Just don't want to change anything, just press OK. Right, and then do the same thing for the second one. I'm gonna go back here. Okay, and I also need to make a copy for the buttons. Right, so now let's see how to make this as a button, and when you click, and the information will be appear. So if you go to window, under interactive, okay, you can check on buttons and forms, and also the object states. Okay, so we'll start with the object state. So check in here, and this is your object states. All right, so first you click on the first information, and then you hold your shift key on your keyboard and click on the second one. Okay, right, then after that you click here in convert selection to multi-state object. So now you can see if I click on state 1, this is all the information that will be appear. All right, okay, so you can rearrange this and see which one that how the information will be appear on the screen. Okay, so supposedly state 2 should be come first, so I just want to rearrange this to be on the top. Okay, so when I click state 2, it goes to it will appear the first information, and then state 1 is the second information. All right, okay, so now so if I click state 2 and go to the option, you can check on hidden until triggered. Okay, then after that, when we have set this to state 2 and state 1. Okay, so now click on the buttons. All right, and then go to window again, and make sure that you have these buttons and forms. Okay, so in buttons and forms, I will change this to button. All right, name it as button 2. You can change this if you want. Then you click on action under EPUB or publish online only. You select go to state. Okay, so go to state, and this will goes to state 2. All right, this is state 2. Right, then we click on the second one. So again, the same thing. I will check this. I will change this to button. Okay, name as button 3, and then action under EPUB, go to state, and this will go to state 1. Okay, this is state 1, right? Let me check again. So this one, it should go to state 2, and this one, it should go to state 1. Okay, so if I click here in preview spread, we can check. Okay, so if I click here, you have the information. When I click the second one, you see the information, and the first information will be disappear, right? Okay, now let's see how to create animation for this text. Okay, let's say I have one text in here. Okay, I'll just copy this one. Alright, so to create the animation, if you go to window, under interactive, you can check on the animation. So this is my animation panel. And then in the preset, you can change and choose any types of animation that you want. So let's say for this one, I want this to be fly in from the right. Okay, right, and you can see this is the preset and the line to show where the animation will be started. And again, when I press the preview spread, okay, see that the animation will be moving from right to the left, and you have another buttons in here, and when you click, you have the information. So one thing before I forget, after you choose the preset, these are another events that you can use. Okay, so I would prefer to use as a on page load. Okay, which is when I play the magazine, the animation will be load. All right, so that's all. Thank you.